The mist clung heavy to the steep slopes of Isdalen Valley, a perpetually shadowed gorge near Bergen, Norway. It was late November 1970, and the biting wind carried the scent of pine and impending snow. Two young hikers, out for a Sunday stroll, stumbled upon a scene that would forever scar their memories and baffle a nation for decades to come. Deep within the rugged, almost inaccessible terrain, a woman lay dead. Her body, partially burned, rested amidst scorched rocks and scattered debris. The air, thick with the smell of smoke and singed flesh, offered a chilling testament to a fire that had raged, then died. Near her, a bottle of St. Halvard liqueur, a plastic water bottle, and a fur hat lay discarded. Most disturbingly, beneath her was a strong smell of gasoline. This wasn't just a tragic accident. This was a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. Cloaked in the chilling silence of the Norwegian wilderness, the police were called to what became known as Case 13470. Lead investigator Harold Osland and his team faced immediate horror. The woman's face was unrecognizable, her body severely burned. Initial examinations revealed she had ingested 50 to 70 sleeping pills, a lethal dose of phenobarbital, and had soot in her lungs, indicating she was alive when the fire started. A faint bruise on her neck added another layer of grim mystery. The official ruling came swiftly: suicide. She had, they concluded, set herself alight after taking the pills. But for many, including some within the investigation, this explanation felt impossibly, terrifyingly wrong. Who was this woman? And why was she found in such a desolate, brutal manner? The story began to unfold in fragmented pieces. The woman, it turned out, was no ordinary tourist. Her presence in Norway, especially as a lone woman traveling in 1970, was highly unusual. Alvhild Rains, a dining room worker at Bergen's Hotel Neptune at the time, vividly recalled her. It was so unusual for a woman to be traveling alone in the early 1970s. How self-assured and unapproachable the Isdal Woman was. She stood out. She dressed stylishly, exuded an air of sophistication, and spoke German and broken English, sometimes conversing in French with a man in hotel lobbies. She was an anomaly in quiet, unassuming Norway. Investigators discovered she had visited Norway twice in 1970. Her first visit began in March, ending abruptly. Her second, fatal journey started in early November. She had moved through the country like a phantom, leaving a trail of aliases and false identities. At different hotels across Bergen, Oslo, Trondheim, and Stavanger, she checked in under at least 8 different names: Fenella Lork, Claudia Tielt, Vera Jarl, Genevieve Lancier, Elizabeth Lienhofer, Clara Tielt, Alexia Zarnamerches, and perhaps even others. She frequently changed rooms, paid in cash, and hotel staff recalled her odd habits. She smelled of garlic, wore wigs, and kept to herself, often asking for rooms facing the street, as if expecting someone. Then came the discovery that blew the case wide open, adding layers of international intrigue. Days after finding the body, police located 2 suitcases belonging to the woman at Bergen's railway station. The contents were a meticulously curated collection of misdirection and deception. Inside, they found German, Belgian, and British currency, wigs, an array of stylish clothing, makeup, and eyeglasses. But chillingly, all identifying labels had been meticulously removed from her clothes. Inside one suitcase, a coded notepad was found. It appeared to be a diary, but the seemingly random symbols, when decoded, revealed a precise itinerary: her travels by train and bus, dates, and places she had visited. It mapped her erratic movements across Europe, from Bergen to Stavanger, then Paris, and back to Norway. Other items were even more unsettling. A small tube of eczema cream was found, its manufacturer's label removed, but later identified as a specific German brand. A seemingly ordinary silver spoon was discovered, its unique pattern of engraved leaves suggesting it belonged to a limited set, but offering no direct lead. The presence of multiple currencies, false passports, and the systematic removal of all identifying marks pointed to one inescapable conclusion: this woman did not want to be found. Or perhaps, someone else didn't want her identified. This meticulously erased identity, combined with her shadowy movements during the height of the Cold War, ignited fervent speculation. Was the Isdal Woman a spy? Norway, a NATO member bordering the Soviet Union, was a strategic hotspot. The U-2 spy plane incident was still fresh in memory, and there were known attempts by Soviet agents to establish a consulate in Tromsø. The timing of her final visit coincided with crucial trials of Norway's new Penguin missile system, a cutting-edge weapon that would have been of immense interest to foreign powers, the most persistent theory gaining traction years later with further investigation was that she was a Mossad courier. This hypothesis suggested she might have been a German Jew whose family fled to France during World War II. Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, was known to recruit Holocaust survivors who, having lost their families and identities, could more easily operate under multiple guises. Her disciplined travel schedule, use of numerous identities, and the careful erasure of her past fit the profile of a low-level operative or courier rather than a traditional spy. The mention of garlic smell by hotel staff even led to speculation. She might have visited a kosher deli. Yet, despite the compelling spy theories, the official verdict remained suicide. This ruling, however, was vehemently disputed by many. The bruise on her neck could suggest strangulation or a struggle. The placement of her body, in such a remote and difficult-to-reach location, seemed improbable for someone who had just taken a massive dose of sleeping pills. Why would she, if intending to end her life, choose such an arduous journey into the wilderness, only to then set herself on fire? Why were the traces of petrol on her fur hat, but not on her body? Critics argued it was more likely she was killed elsewhere, perhaps sedated, brought to the valley, and then set alight to destroy evidence. Years passed, but the enigma of the Isdal Woman never faded. Decades later, with the advent of new forensic technologies, the case was reopened, fueled by public fascination and persistent questions. In 2017, NRK, the Norwegian national broadcaster, collaborated with police to re-examine the evidence. Her jawbone and teeth, preserved since 1970, became the key to unlocking new secrets. Isotope analysis, performed on her teeth by forensic scientists like Jurian Hujworth, revealed astonishing details about her movements during her formative years. The strontium isotopes in her teeth indicated she had likely moved from Central or Eastern Europe to Western Europe during her childhood or adolescence, possibly before or during World War II. This aligned eerily with the Mossad courier theory, hinting at a background as a wartime refugee. A magic triangle of Krakow, Brno, and Jura emerged as potential areas where she might have lived as a child, based on the specific isotope ratios. Further breakthroughs came with DNA analysis. Mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, extracted from her teeth placed her within haplogroup H24, a relatively rare lineage found predominantly in Europe, but also with ties to Southeast Europe or Southwest Asia. While not providing a name, it narrowed the geographical scope of her origins, painting a picture of someone whose roots spanned multiple cultures and regions. The DNA analysis also confirmed she had a close maternal relative who was identified as being of French origin, reinforcing the possibility of a French connection. Despite these scientific leaps, the Isdal Woman's true name, her mission, and the full truth of her demise remain elusive. Was she a brave operative, caught in the dangerous games of Cold War espionage? Was she a victim, cruelly silenced to protect state secrets? Or was she, as the initial ruling suggested, a desperate soul who found her end in the desolate beauty of Isdalen? The answers lie buried, perhaps forever, in the ashes of that remote Norwegian valley, a chilling reminder of a woman who existed without a trace and died without a name. Her story serves as a haunting testament to the shadows that exist between nations and the profound mysteries that can endure for half a century.